the sphere of influence in the clients that you make A or B or C.
Exactly. Yep. So, and the key thing with the lane A, lane B, and lane C, that's your sphere of influence. So those are not clients that you're currently working with to move towards a deal. Those are just people that you know. So today we're going to shift beyond the lane A, lane B, lane C, and I'm going to have the lane A, lane B, lane C stuff in the school community, like the notes for it. But now let's talk about leads. So people that are coming in, you didn't necessarily know them most of the time, but you're contacting them, they're contacting you specifically for the purpose of a real estate transaction. So what this has to do with is, how do you follow up? How do you have a sequence or a structure to follow up with them? Because one person is, and their circumstance or situation may be totally different from another person. So how do we have a system to follow up with everybody? And what we've found is that generally categorizing people in stages of warmth, are they a hot lead, warm lead, cold lead, is the kind of most practical way of doing that. So what I want to talk about is how to define what is hot, what is warm, what is cold. Also throw in there two other categories, lead and closed, which we'll talk about, and like what frequency and what kind of content should you be sending to each of these. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Most of what we're talking about, in a sense, is how do you structure. What I'm thinking for you is your CRM. So you've got Go High Level. So maybe a person has Bold Trail, which you've had, Go High Level, Follow Up Boss, what I've had. How do we create campaigns or action plans or whatever, smart plans, whatever your CRM calls it? I don't know what Go High Level calls it. How do we create?
They call it drip campaigns.
Drip campaigns. Okay. And let me ask you before we get started, do they already have like what I'm talking
Templates.
about, campaigns for templates for hot, warm, and cold, or no?
Yeah, okay. They have templates you can customize, and they have that in Bold Trail too.
Okay. So here's the logic behind it, just so you know, because I would suggest that you, as much as possible, customize it yourself. So what is being said sometimes is good, especially now that we have Claude and ChatGPT that can help us with the branding. It takes nothing to create the content and put it in your own voice.
Yeah.
Claude is better with that over time, by the way. But
I'm noticing I like Claude so bad. I like Claude a lot.
We have so much to talk about, Jada. We got Go High Level to talk about. We got to talk about Claude and co-work. We've got our school communities. I don't know how
I know, right? I haven't put those prompts. I just went back over some of the notes. Remember you gave me those prompts for the crit method? I got to put that in Claude. I didn't do that yet. I got to transfer that over.
So I just started with Claude this week, and I'm finding that prompt engineering is different with Claude, definitely if you're doing co-work. So I'm going to do some diving into understanding what strategy to take as far as prompt engineering within Claude. Everything I've done so far has been ChatGPT, and it's not exactly the same, but that's a whole subject. So let's start with leads, and then we'll do hot, warm, cold, and then we'll talk about closed clients. Okay. So leads are people that like are new leads. So in your case, perhaps somebody that came in through ManyChat, through social media, Instagram, whatever. Or maybe you've got like an online paid ad, and that leads to somebody going to a landing page and filling out a form to which you get their name, email, and number. That's a lead, right? So we've got to have a follow-up sequence for those people. These are people that you have not contacted yet. So hot, warm, and cold, that's when you've talked to them. I'm just talking about
this right now too.
Yes.
Yeah.
because you do have some of those. So you haven't contacted them yet. Here, everything I'm about to say is what I do. And you might as well just kind of follow the logic that I do, and then you can over time tweak it to make it your own. But I would strongly suggest that we need to be contacting these people once every day to 2 days by call or text. You want to follow up with these people until you make a contact with them, and do that for 2 weeks. Once you haven't contacted them after 2 weeks, it's obvious that it's not going to happen. But I would give it them 2 weeks. And I don't know if you know this, but with these kinds of leads, when somebody finds you online, they are like interested in that moment. And so literally every minute that goes by after they fill out that form that you don't contact them, the less the likelihood is that they're going to respond to you. So you literally want to shoot, if at all possible, to immediately respond to that lead, like within 5 minutes. But obviously there are times where you can't do that and you need to give yourself grace. I mean, but it's just important to know that. The reality is, if you call them
get them as soon as they opt in.
Yep. That's when they're interested. And then they just see you as spam the next day, So I would keep calling them though, nonetheless, for 2 weeks, and put high value on them, and immediately put them into, you want to have a system in place where they immediately go into your CRM and they're on a campaign for leads. That will automatically be sending them some kind of value-adding email every 3, maybe 4 days. So something that's, I would have an email immediately, like in the moment that they fill out the form, automatically have that go to them. Thanks for reaching out. I'm going to be contacting you as soon as possible, some value-adding information. And then every 3 days or so after that, another follow-up email. And then on top of that, of course, you're calling them. And once 2 weeks goes by and you haven't talked to them, then you can just put them on some kind of nurture campaign, or put them in the cold list or something like that. That makes sense?
Yes.
All right. So that's leads. At any point, just let me know if you have any questions on this. Should we start with the coldest or start with the hottest on the next one?
Let's do the hottest.
Okay. Let's start with hot. So these are people that, unlike leads, these are leads that you have contacted. You have done a pre-qual conversation with them. So what we've talked about that in the past, you should have records of what does that look like. But I mean, you're quickly going to find out, are they looking to sell? Are they looking to buy? Or sometimes even both. And you want to have a pre-qualification conversation with them in that first chat, find out all this information. What are they looking to do? When are they looking to do it? What financing are they used if they're buying a house? All that stuff. Once you've done that initial phone conversation, you will be able to identify, are they hot, warm, or cold? Hot. In fact, let's test you. How do you know if they're hot?
They have motivation, location, pre-qualification, and yeah.
I mean, those are good words. And you're in spirit, you're on the right path. What I like to say is ready, willing, able.
Ready, willing.
Ready. So as a buyer,
you do always say that.
Ready, willing, and able. Get those words in your mind, because when you're talking to this person, you need to be remembering is do all 3 criteria match. So like pre-qualification, that means they're ready, and it means they're able. Willing is motivation, what you said, and then able is, pre-qualification, but it also could be, maybe if they're trying to sell a house, but they're upside down and they're going to lose money. Can they do that? If not, they're not able.
Right.
So you want to test to make sure they're ready, willing, and able, and they are planning on making a move within 1 to 3 months, within the next 90 days. That's critical. If all of those criteria match, they are hot, and we need to be like prioritizing those people. That is without a doubt your fastest path to income. And in a sense, as you're doing lead generation,
You said 1 to 30 days or 1 to 90?
1 to 90. They are
Okay.
hot if they're wanting to make a move within the next 90 days, 3 months. And it's think of it this way, as you're doing your lead generation, you're kind of on the hunt for hot leads. Like it's not to say people who are warm or cold are of no value to us or we don't love them or care for them, absolutely. But you know, you're looking to, I mean, because they're all of value to your business, even if they're not going to do a deal immediately.
An hour later, yeah, for sure.
But the hot leads are you know, the ones that you need to prioritize, and that those are the people that you're going to be showing homes with in the next couple of weeks, or you're going to be doing a listing presentation in the next couple of weeks. And so we need to prioritize them. And the way we do that is you want to be making a personal contact with them once a week. So make sure you're doing that. Make a personal contact with them every week. Call, in other words, like a call, if not that, a text, whatever seems right. And then I would say to be adding on top of that a value adding email. So look at what Go High Level has. They're very new, cutting edge. Maybe it's awesome. Maybe you don't need to change anything. Just make sure whatever emails are going to be going that represent you well, they feel like you, and they're adding value. We always want to be adding value to the clients, not just like selling ourselves.
So for example, like quick tips.
Yes.
When purchasing, when you're looking for a home or something like that.
Always be thinking, does this content feel like I'm trying to get something from them or I'm giving something to them? You always want to be bringing value to the clients. And if we do that, the clients will come to us. So you want to give them a once a week value. Exactly. You're exactly right. Like tips or whatever. And then as far as in your MLS, you want to set them up. You know, when you do an MLS listing search, you can like schedule it to give them once a month, once a week, or on a certain day of the week. And then there's ASAP. You want to make these people ASAP. So as soon as a listing that meets their criteria, and you need to have gotten their criteria in your pre-qualification, as soon as that hits the market, you want them seeing it immediately. Any questions on hot?
No. So I'm sending them, on top of me sending them something immediately because they're a hot lead, I'm also sending them 2 emails or once a week. One with some value, just like that they can, like a quick tips or something. And then also just checking in with them once a week with like and that's separate from an MLS listing search.
So that's 3 things. The check-in is the call or text, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to call or text once a week, have a value-adding email once a week, and then also set them on a listing search in your MLS and set that to ASAP.
Okay.
And that is hot. But I mean, it goes without saying, once somebody is hot, your intention throughout all of that, and this is huge, is to be setting an appointment with them. That's always what you're trying to do. Maybe that's the better way of saying it. As you're doing your lead generation, you're on the hunt for appointments, either a buyer's consultation or a listing presentation. Okay. So that's what you're calling them and texting them, you know, to set that appointment. And even that needs to be value adding, you know, like you want them to feel like, you know, let them know the next step is we need to sit down. We need to look at your house. I'll look at the numbers, do a comparative market analysis, and we can sit down and discuss getting this house sold for you.
Yeah.
All right. So then
for a buyer, it would look like we need to sit down and get your availability. What days out of the week can we actually go look at stuff? And then I'm sending you listing search. So anything you like, we need to be making an appointment to schedule to go see it, and then making an offer on something that we go see.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go through like the whole, process of
Right.
buying a house with them in the ask for the setting the appointment. Usually, strategy is the word that I like to use for a buyer's consultation.
Okay.
Say, Mr. Buyer, so you've got your pre-qualification. That's great. The next step is we need to sit down for about a 30-minute conversation. I always want to meet face-to-face. And what we can do is look at the best strategy to get the house that you're looking for the best price and the best terms. And then we can look at next steps as far as doing that. And do you want to grab a coffee sometime next week? I can do Tuesdays or Wednesdays. What's better for you?
Okay.
So that's the appointment set. And that is your objective with a hot lead. Ready to go to warm lead?
Yes.
All right. So warm, these are people, again, leads. You've spoken to them. You've been able to gauge either they're ready and willing, but they're not able, or they're not quite ready, but they are going to be strongly likely making a move within 3 to 6 months, whatever that is, 90 to 180 days. So these aren't hot. They're not going to be making a move immediately, but they're on the edge. So in your case, you're working with people doing credit repair. You have a window into where they're at with their credit repair. You probably have a gauge of, okay, their credit's not great today. I'm anticipating it's probably going to be ready to go in 2 months, and then they need to do whatever it is that they need to do. So, that kind of a scenario. But these are people that have a strong likelihood. They're not like dilly-daddling. Maybe I'm going to look at them. They're wanting to buy. There's just something in their lives that's going to delay that for at least 90 days. But like they're
Okay.
Buy or sell. So with these people, you don't want to drive them crazy. You don't call them once a week. I would like double that. Like call them every at least every 4 weeks. Somewhere in between 2 to 4 weeks. Call or text. Some kind of a personal connection. And then you don't want to bombard them with emails. So you kind of double it. Do a value adding email every 2 to 4 weeks. Whatever seems right for you. I like to do, I don't remember what it is. I think it's every 3 weeks. And then you don't put them on a listing search in your MLS. You do put them on a listing search, but you don't do an ASAP. Do these people on a certain day of the week, once a week. So they're still seeing that once a week coming from you. It shows that you've got something in place, looking for homes for them. You've got systems in place. You're taking care of them.
So still like send them listings, even though they're not pre-qualified. That's just to motivate them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I send listings to people who are cold.
Wow. Okay. I'm not doing that. That's probably like a major reason why I'm okay. I need to do that ASAP. I'm gonna do that when we get off the phone.
Yeah. So for warm, you just make it weekly. People like seeing homes,
Yeah, that's literally now that I'm thinking about it. The realtor I used when I bought my house in 2019, reason why I was like ready to buy a house is because she was sending me houses that I wanted. And I was like, okay, I got to get pre-qualified. I got to get ready. So yeah, I got to do that ASAP.
All the more reason.
So not ASAP, but send weekly listing search.
So do your listing searches well, right? People, sometimes it's hard, especially when people like have funky criteria, but like, so oftentimes realtors are just sloppy and they just send people any old listing that may not match their criteria at all. All that does is tell people you were not listening to me when I told you what kind of house I want to buy. And I'm not going to trust you to find me the right house. Cause
Yeah.
So you want
Send
to
them
like
something that they told you they was looking for in a house in the area and everything. Like, be intentional.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's that whole thing of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Like you want to like think it in terms of if I'm in their shoes, what do I need my realtor doing for me? Like, I don't just need listings so that I get an email every week. I want to see the specific kind of listing, homes that I want. So, but going back to the warm, you want to do what I just said to do until they're hot. So your objective with the hot lead is set the appointment. Your objective with a warm lead is to gauge when are they now a hot lead. And once they're a hot lead, then you convert them into a hot campaign. Make sense?
Yes.
Get them out of that warm thing, put them in the hot campaign. Now your objective with them is to stay in touch regularly for the purpose of setting an appointment. So it's the funnel. We're kind of going in reverse in the funnel, but let's move to cold unless you have any questions on warm.
Nope.
Okay, so then the next one is cold. These are people that same as the hot and warm, except these people are going to be making a move in 180 days, 6 months, in other words, or more. So, I mean, this is a broad category of people. It can be people who aren't going to be buying or selling for 2 years, some people, if they really have no intention of buying or selling, then their sphere of influence, I would put them in lane A, B, or C probably, or something like that. But cold leads, you want to do a quarterly call or text with them, which doesn't sound like much, but it actually is a lot. Just touch base with them.
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months. And it doesn't even have to be real estate related. Like it usually is, but like it depends on the relationship.
It could be happy holidays.
Yeah. But yeah, if you don't know them well, if they're not in your sphere of influence, then it's like, hey, this is Jada. Last time we spoke, blah blah blah. How's that going? Are you thinking more about selling? Just interested, that kind of thing. You also want to be sending these people a monthly value-adding email that directly relates to what they are wanting to do, which is either buy or sell. And sorry, Jade, I should have said earlier, you want to have a follow-up sequence. I think you said Go High Level calls them drip campaigns. So you want to have a drip campaign for seller, hot, warm, and cold, and buyer, hot, warm, and cold. Because the value add email to a buyer is not the same information as what a seller is interested in. So you need to have 2 categories. That makes sense?
Yes.
And then as far as your MLS, you just want to send them monthly listings that meet whatever criteria. So if they're a seller, you're wanting to show them highly comparable homes in their immediate area so that they can track value of their house. And if they're a potential buyer, you're sending them listings in the area that they said they would be interested in moving to. So that's that. And then the last category is closed. We love these.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish this note. There's so much sauce. Okay. To theirs. And buyers, homes of their interest. Now I'm sending them these once a month.
Yeah.
The cold leads.
Yep.
And I'm sending. And this is like something you can get finished in like a few days.
Do you mean setting this up?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I have to have this done ASAP. I'm gonna do this. I'm spending time to do this today, this week, the rest of this week.
Yeah. Well,
because I got all of this. I got all of these people, and none of them are like, you get what I'm saying? Besides my people that are already in my leads that I'm reaching out to for updates and following up with. But I need to do something with all these contacts I have.
Yeah, and let me dispel the maybe the misperception. This is valuable. Obviously, I wouldn't be telling you this stuff if it weren't of value. But let me just clarify. The most valuable thing is the personal connection, no doubt. It's the call and the text that is going to wind up with the appointment being set, with the client being made. The email stuff is complementary, if that makes sense. You're not going to get a client by sending them value-adding emails. That's just keeping them thinking of you and knowing you as somebody who actually helps. So, but nonetheless, it's if you don't have a follow-up sequence that makes sense for the person, you're just not going to be as effective. So when you've done everything that we just said to do, you're going to wind up with the next category that we're talking about, which is closed. Those hot leads are going to turn into clients, and you're going to get those buyer clients homes, and you're going to sell the seller clients homes. And then you need to know, what do I do now that we've come to the end of the journey? I've closed the deal. Now what? They are they are now the most important asset you have in your real estate business. People who have done business with you and who are happy are the biggest asset, because they're the most powerful refers that you're ever going to have. And especially shortly after they close the deal. So what I always do is ask them for a referral at the point of closing. So that can be in an appropriate way right there at the closing table. That can be maybe in a phone conversation right afterwards. Make sure you're asking them for a referral. So and just to step back, I always ask for referrals when we sign the contract, as in they become my buyer client or become my seller client. I always ask for a referral when we have the celebratory moment of getting the offer accepted. So either the seller's received an offer or your buyer has made an offer and it got accepted. And I always ask for a referral the third time at the point of closing the deal. So each of those are high points in the journey where you're the hero.
And so the first one is when they sign on as a client.
Yep.
After an offer and after closing.
After
offer accepted.
Accepted. So the seller, whether it's the buyer or the seller, when a deal has been made, the contract has been agreed upon, the offer, that's a celebratory moment for the buyer and seller. Still have the negotiations around the inspection where everyone's going to want to punch each other. So you don't ask for the referral then, but everyone's, getting out their little champagne flutes when the offer's accepted. And so, yeah, I would, but you don't want it to be pushy, just natural, when I'm doing my buyer's consultation, I'm always like, guys, I'm so excited to be helping you buy your house. Look, I'm if you know anybody else who's looking to buy or sell, I'm happy to help them. I promise you, I'm going to do them a great service. So, you might even say, do you know anyone looking to buy or sell, or just keep it more kind of casual and just be like, if you know, but you just want to get that thought in their head throughout the process that you're hoping that they're going to send you referrals. You're kind of training them towards that.
Yeah, so much psychology, man.
Yeah, and it totally works too. So you ask them for referral. Then on top of that, at the closing, you're also going to ask them, hey, listen, I really appreciate it if you could just hop on for a minute and do a Google review. It really helps my business. I'll send you that link. Would you mind just quickly, giving me a good review? And
Okay.
9 times out of 10, of course, a person, if they're going to do it, they're going to give you a 5-star review. That's huge.
Yeah. Right after closing for sure. That's the perfect time.
Yes. And if they can't do Google, or if you don't want to do Google, then you can have them do Zillow, one or the other. And then make a note to check back in with them 30 days after the close. Just to check on them. It just shows that you're not only interested in them to get the transaction, you're interested in them. So you're following up 30 days and being like, can you believe it's already been a month? How's it going? How's your house? Everything working okay? Have you set up all the utilities yet? Have you, did you go down and do that property transfer affidavit? If they sold the house, just following up on all that stuff. If they're the seller, you can be like, did you get that final water read from Detroit Water? We want to get that last bill so we can get your water escrow back. Just checking up with them after 30 days, and then move them into lane A, B, or C because they're now sphere of influence.
Okay, pause. So I need to make sure I did that after the house I just sold. Did I supposed to call them to get the water escrow back?
Uh-oh. What? Remind me, what house did you sell?
I sold Kenfield.
And were you the agent? Oh,
No.
you're saying for yourself. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's for the
If you sold that house and it was your own, which it was, then you definitely, if you didn't, you want to contact Detroit Water, order a final water read. And they will give you
I paid that at the closing.
You paid whatever the current bill is. So if you didn't order a final water read, all you did is pay whatever the monthly bill is. The monthly bill that Detroit Water sends is based on an estimate, not on a water read. So to close that account out fully, you have to order a final water read. They come out, they physically look at your meter, they calculate what the actual amount owed is, and then you take that bill, you give it to the title company, and whatever monies they held in escrow, if there's still more that needs to be paid, they pay it out of that, or you get all that water escrow money back.
So I can still do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do that.
And so, okay, I will. 30 days after closing, call them to check on them. Ask them, did they do the property transfer affidavit? And then just ask them how their house is going and about the water read. Show them that you care about them even after the deal.
Yeah, I mean, the property transfer, I'm just naming stuff. Property transfer affidavit, that's if you help them sell the house. Water read is if you help them sell the house. If they bought a house, you're asking, how's the new house? If, I don't know, I can remember the seller had to make a repair during the process. So I was asking my buyer, hey, they fixed that leak that was coming through the window. Is that still working okay? Just following up on those details, showing that you care. Whatever comes natural, Jada. I mean, I'm not, there's no you do you, like whatever you do. The point is just make a contact and show that you care. All right. So what I was actually going to say for next week, Jada, is to do exactly what you already said. Build out your smart plans in the next 7 days before we meet next week. And make sure you've got buyer and seller, hot, warm, cold, as well as buyer and seller leads. And as soon as we can, we're going to have some closed people to follow up with. And I would also encourage you, use Claude, or whatever to help you build those out. If you need to make your own emails and your own content, you obviously have AI to help you with that. You can use the crit method that we talked about. So that's that.
So you said in the next 7 days, have my buyer seller campaigns built out. or hot, warm, or cold.
Yep, and leads, new leads, people you haven't spoken to yet.
Okay.
The many chat people and the whoever.
I'm gonna have this done because I need your brain on how it looks. I need you to audit it.
Okay,
7
yeah.
days have this done. I am Paul. This is so helpful.
Awesome. Well, cool, Jada. Yeah, and it's May now, so if you're going to get that thing launched in June 1st, just let me know when you've got your school community like at a place where I can check out and see it. And
for sure, for sure. I'm so busy with all of this. Thank you, Paul.
Yes, awesome to see you, Jada. Just contact me this week if you need me.
Okay, I will. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.